Hello, fellow vault dwellers. Sorry, just a little gaming reference for those of you who play Fallout series, which is probably the two of us. Anyway, here we are in our 5th week of self-isolation. We've had 4 Sundays in the cloud. 4. No wonder I'm feeling dizzy all the time. For those of you who may have forgotten, I'm Pastor Mike. Yes, I'm still here in the flesh, virus-free. I'm not just a max headroom presence on your computer or smartphone. Again, sorry for the obscure reference. I'm here to remind you once again that God is still in control. So quit listening to the doom and gloom on the news channels and start trusting your Lord and Savior. We will prevail. I mean, seriously, is there no other news to report in the world other than how many people are being infected and how many have died from the coronavirus? Although I must admit, I do like the stories of all the people who are helping their neighbors and even those that they've never met. And have you noticed how many of those people are Christians? If you listen and watch closely, you can see the signs. Well, I can see them. I'm specially trained and I have modified glasses to help. In either case, it is very encouraging, which is what I want to do for you right now, to encourage you. I was reminded of a story in Joshua chapter 4 this morning. It was about when Israel, led by Joshua, crossed the Jordan River and entered the promised land that God had given them to possess. Chapter 3, we're told that God stopped the flow of the river upriver temporarily so that Israel could cross to the other side on dry ground. An interesting sidebar on that fact. Scholars believe, from indications within the text, that the priests were actually asked to step down into the water. And the water probably came up at least to their chest, maybe even, some believe, up to their neck. And they had to stand there and wait for the water to subside. And once that had happened, then Israel could walk across. That's some faith. Talk about risky leadership. After they crossed, Jordan told the tribes to choose a stone. The leaders of the tribe take a stone out of the bottom of the dry riverbed, and he was going to have them do something with that stone. So there were 12 stones in all that were chosen. I can imagine the priests standing there holding the ark, because they were the last ones to leave before the water would descend. And standing there waiting, wondering, when is that water going to come rushing back, watching these 12 leaders from these 12 tribes trying to pick out the right exact stone to represent their tribe. Oh, look at that one. It's so beautiful. It's a little too ostentatious. Yeah, we need something a little more roundy edges, not so angular to represent us. Just pick a stone. Well, Joshua told them to take those stones and pile them on top of each other. And then he said these words to them. It's recorded there in Joshua 4, verses 21 through 24. He said, when your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, what are these stones? Then you shall inform your children, saying, Israel crossed this Jordan on dry ground. For the Lord your God dried up the waters of the Jordan before you until you had crossed, just as the Lord your God had done to the Red Sea, which he dried up before us until we had crossed, that all the peoples of the earth may know that the hand of the Lord is mighty, so that you may fear the Lord your God forever. I heard some interesting numbers concerning this past Sunday, Easter Sunday. This is the first Easter Sunday that so many people attended in the cloud. It's really very historic. They estimate 10 million people And of those 10 million people, it was determined through various sites reporting that 69,423 people gave their lives to Christ. The actual amount was probably higher. That gives you pause to think, doesn't it? It certainly gave me pause to think. And as I was thinking, I came up with some calculations of my own. What? You didn't think I was just another pretty face, did you? I could do math. It's a simple math. 4 times 2 kind of stuff, which everybody knows is 42. So I was figuring we average about 33 logons a Sunday. That's what we've averaged. Of those 33, we've figure about a third are going to be couples. So 33 logons plus the other half of the couple, a third of those, another 11, makes 44 altogether. And then of those 33 logons, also at least 20% are families larger than just 2. You know, with those things we call kids. And, not counting mom and dad twice, but just counting the kids. We figure about 20%. So that really adds about another 12 if you go average of 2 per unit it's logging on. So roughly it all ends up coming up with about 56 people on average per Sunday that have been tuning in to our services. Now, why is that significant? Well, I'll tell you, because before the COVID-19 outbreak, we averaged 35 people in church on any given Sunday. 35. We are now averaging 56. We've actually grown in our attendance since this all happened. God stopped the water upriver for us so that we could walk across some dry ground. You know, there are a lot of things to be unhappy about during this time. But instead of focusing on those things, let's look at the miracles that God is doing despite these unfortunate events. Let's set up a pile of stones to remember how God is bringing us through. You've heard the saying, the best is yet to come. Well, when I look into the mirror in the mornings, I rather doubt that. My dad the other day sent me a picture of Tracy and I that was taken quite a few years ago. In fact, let me show you this, and I think you'll find this quite interesting. This is Tracy and I. I don't know exactly what the date is, how many years ago, but look at those youngsters. Look at those. That was then. And this is now. You can see why I don't always find it easy to believe that the best is yet to come. But here is the truth. As believers in the Lord of the impossible, we can always say the best is yet to come. See, with God, the best is always yet to come. So set up some stones of remembrance. Let them remind you of the miracles that God has done in the past and the miracles he's doing today, so that you can find hope that will fuel your ability to trust in his promises for the future, even in these uncertain days. I pray that you have been encouraged. And I just want you to remember this. None of us is perfect. We're all under construction. God's blessings on you all. I look forward to seeing you Sunday.